All right, we are going to roll into our post-race press conference here with our, hang on just a second. Before we get started, if you have NASCAR.com/press pass up, if you can lower your volume because we just hear the feedback from it. All right, so we're going to roll into the post-race press conference for the Xfinity 500 here at Martinsville Speedway. We've now been joined by our race winner, Alex Bowman. And before we get started with questions, Alex, give us your thoughts there on those final laps and ultimately taking home the victory.
Yeah, definitely extremely happy to be able to get a fourth win for the Ally 48 this year. It's been a rough couple months on us since we started the playoffs, and to come here with such a fast race car and the capability of winning is awesome. Obviously, hate that we got into the 11. Unintentional, I just got loose underneath him and spun him out. So I'd be mad too. I get it. But he's been on the other side of that enough to understand. Glad to come out of it with a trophy.
All right, we're now going to go to questions. We're going to start downstairs, and we're going to go upstairs for a question. And to kick us off down here, we're going to start with Jeff Gluck.
I heard on MRN you were talking about some incident where he kind of he promised you a ride on his jet. Is that correct?
Yeah, so he crashed me at Texas last year, and he texted me and apologized and said he'd give me a ride on his jet. So I don't know. We're even, I guess, after that. He crashed the heck out of me there. He just got loose underneath me, like same exact thing, just at a bigger racetrack. And yeah, sarcasm there, obviously. But my point is the shoe's been on the other foot. Like we've been on both sides of it.
And then, yeah, I mean, it has to be kind of a surreal thing. Like you're doing your burnout, and like there's a dude facing you, like ramming your car. What was that moment like inside the cockpit for you?
Yeah, have you ever been to Bowman Gray Stadium? I've gone there and watched. That's what it felt like. When they had that TV show with the mods running there, I watched the heck out of that. It was really entertaining then. Not so entertaining when you're living it, but just didn't want to be a part of that and make us both look dumb. So I just tried to not be a part of it. You know, I wasn't gonna try to do stuff like that, and that's not who I am. So yeah, I understand why he's mad. I'd be mad too. I drove off in the corner and got loose and spun him out. So but at the same time, I didn't do it on purpose. If I did, I would tell you. That's part of it.
All right, we're going to go upstairs for a question. Go ahead.
Yeah, thank you. These last couple months have been painful. It's been so frustrating. Honestly, our teammates have kicked our butts for quite a while now. I think Greg and myself have both been pretty down and frustrated and not understood what was going on. We weren't doing things any differently. We weren't approaching weekends differently. We just have been off. So to come to a place that was probably our worst place when we started together and have such a good day and get another win, it feels great. Obviously 4 wins this year feels great. Wish we were in the round of 4, but you know, we just need to figure out consistency, and this team will be something really, really special.
All right, we'll come back downstairs. Additional questions? And also, Crew Chief Greg Ives has joined here at the table.
You guys are really pumped up.
Yeah.
There was like no hands raised right there.
All right.
Am I that boring?
We'll go to Jordan.
Is this working? Yeah. They're all waiting for me to get here.
Yeah, okay.
All right, go ahead, Jordan.
Jordan Bianchi, The Athletic. This question is for Greg. Greg, I mean, you guys have shown at times throughout, since you guys have been together, you guys will string together, 4 or 5 races, finishing up front, leading a bunch of laps, winning races, and then you have these moments where things are going the other direction. Why is the lack of consistency a problem?
I don't know. I'm still looking for it. Obviously, that's a great question that doesn't have a really great answer. So, honestly, there's times when it's because you're going to a racetrack that you're not necessarily good at. Martinsville, Richmond were tough racetracks for us, and we were able to come out there and win at them. In the spring race, I feel like we had a solid race car, and to be able to come back here and probably even have a better one. It's hard to say. We got took ourselves out early, but yeah, I mean, I wish I 100% knew what that was. I feel like as an organization, we have contributed to a lot of this to success and by being a great teammate and being somewhat innovative with certain setups and stuff like that. But honestly, the consistency is something that's always wavered for us for whatever reason. Last year, the playoffs was one of our most consistent ever. Summer was not. I think before the playoffs started, I think you could say that start of the year was really good for us, and then middle and end has not been. So it's a long year. It takes a lot of toll. Not only on us as driver and crew chief, but the team as well. And when you're living it every day, sometimes. Maybe I should ask the media, what do you guys see, right? So when you're so focused on it, sometimes the easiest thing just misses you.
All right, we'll go to Jeff.
Alex, you doubled your career win total in 1 year. Is that if somebody had said before the year, hey, you're going to win 4 races this year, but you're not going to make the Final Four or something, how would you have viewed that?
Yeah, I mean, I think I was really confident coming into this year. We ended the playoffs super strong last year. I feel like we didn't get much credit for it, but I think we scored like the second most points of anybody and just didn't have those playoff points to fall back on because our summer wasn't what it needed to be. Finished 6th in points and we're really fast. So I was confident coming into this year. But the thing that I've circled is to just try to be consistent and consistently run well, and we've struggled to do that. So it's really hard for me to be super excited right now, but the beginning of the season, if you told me I was going to win 4 times, I'd be pretty excited. So wish we were going to Phoenix, obviously, with a chance to win the championship. And it has been painful to kind of go through the playoffs the way they've been, but it's awesome to at least start to end the year on a strong note.
All right, go ahead Alex, go ahead.
Thanks. Alexandra with the Charlotte Observer. Alex, how do you race next weekend, I guess, if you guys have the same speed? And, how do you race your teammates versus, I guess, the Gibbs drivers, too, that are in the championship?
Yeah, for sure. Respectfully, I feel like I try to race as respectful as I can. Mistakes happen, and obviously today probably doesn't appear that way, but like I drove off in the corner and jacked the 11 up and carried him off in the corner and passed him, and then pulled over and let him go the next straightaway to try to pass him clean. So respectfully, next week, and no matter who it is, we're going there to get a trophy, but at the same time, we got to be respectful with what those 4 guys have going on.
All right, go ahead.
Alex, Ted Schmidt, Area Auto Racing News. When something like what happens today happens, how do you handle that? Will you two talk during the week, or I'm not saying specifically you and Denny, but when it happens between 2 drivers, normally, how do you guys handle something like that?
Yeah, if the front straightaway thing wouldn't have happened, I would have already talked to him. So, I don't like drama. I'm pretty shy and keep to myself and do my own thing. So this isn't the most comfortable situation for me, but at the same time, I'm paid to win races, and that's what we're here to do. So we'll talk this week. Next week he's got so much going on with trying to go win a championship, and understandably he's probably, after tonight, he'll be more focused on other things. And I think the last thing he wants is for us to continue anything next week. So we'll just hopefully talk, and he's going to be mad. I have my side of the story, and it's not going to make him any happier, but I'll tell him, and we'll go from there.
All right, additional questions? Yep, go ahead. If you guys can keep your hands up, that'll help us get the microphone too. Thank you.
Charles Rourke, Starting Martinsville. One thing I can guarantee you, this year they had Denny Hamlin and Chase on the commercial. Guaranteed to be in the commercial next year with that battle, because Clay loves to show the track like this. So how you feel about that?
Yeah, I think big picture. At the end of the day, not really a race car driver. At some point, we're entertainers, and whether you loved it or you hated it or you're mad about it or you're jumping for joy, a lot of people were probably pretty dang entertained. So hopefully it's good for the sport. I think rivalries are good for the sport, and it's kind of what made NASCAR short track racing.
All right, go ahead.
Steve Richards with PRN. For both of you guys, obviously you'd want to be in the championship 4 at Phoenix, but what kind of a boost does this victory give for your team headed into the off season?
Yeah, we needed something after the playoff run that we've had, so means a lot to me, and I would assume to Greg. I don't know. I mean, it can obviously all go a different direction next week, but if we could just end the season strong next week at Phoenix, that's been a place that's been pretty rough on us over the years, and going to the off season with a lot of unknowns for next year, but at least have some positive momentum. I think ending this way is definitely good.
Yeah, for sure. Just when you, when the question about making it to championship 4 is never going to be a question before the consistency. So for us, always trying to get that momentum going in the off season and focus on, obviously there's things that we have done right. There's things that we've done not so well. So we just got to continue to focus on that. And, it means a lot for us to win here. Not any cup race. It's such a tough sport, but to win here at Martinsville, the history, legacy, and tragedy, all that happened here at Martinsville is, huge deal for me. And I know it's something that we want to represent well.
All right, we're going to come up front to Jim.
Jim Motor, motorsport.com. Alex, throughout the playoffs, a lot of, Kyle's been racking up wins. A lot of times, though, the Hendrick drivers have been some of his toughest competition. At what point today did you feel like you were in that situation? It looked like maybe the second half of the race. Was there a point where you felt, I have a car that can contend?
Yeah, honestly, I was confident coming here after how strong we were in the spring, and I felt really good really early. We gave guys a lot of breaks early in the race, which ended up putting me in situations that hurt us, like when the 12 brake checked the 3, it cost us spots, and we had damage and had to fix it on pit stops and stuff like that. So, that was, I think it probably masked how good we were early. But I think we had a really fast race car the whole time. Passed a ton of race cars today, and definitely felt strong all day.
And Greg, kind of along those lines, as the end of the race wound down and Alex found himself in the mix of a bunch of playoff drivers trying to determine their future, were you guys focused on anything other than just his situation? Yeah,
I mean, sometimes if you get too far past what your performance is, you lose sight and maybe get inconsistent. So for us, it was, knowing that we had a strong run in the spring and trying to build off of that. Alex drives this place different than our teammates, and it requires a different setup for him. And we've proved at Richmond, Martinsville, and now again here that we're able to take his feedback and tailor it to what he wants in a race car and come out successful. So, for sure, like he said early in the race, there was times when you knew people were going to be aggressive and knew who had to win and who didn't, and just lived it, let it string out, knew we had a fast car, and instead of taking a fender off of it, just waiting for it to string out and get by him that way.
All right, any questions upstairs? All right, we'll come back downstairs. Bob, go ahead.
Yeah, Bob Pockris, Fox Sports. Alex, kind of following up on the last question, were you aware that Hamlin most likely was getting in as long as he stayed on the lead lap, and did that impact at all the way you raced him?
Yeah, I knew he was pretty well locked in, and I don't think it really did. I think I would have raced him the way I did regardless, and made every attempt to race him clean, and finally just got loose underneath him. I think this whole garage knows that I raced pretty clean, and you're racing for wins at a short track. You're maxed out. I was loose in all day and finally just got loose in. So, I feel like if he was fighting for a playoff spot or on the outside looking in, I would have raced him the same. Here to win races, and at the end of the day, that's kind of all that matters.
All right. Any final questions? All right. We'll go to the back. Steve, go ahead.
Alex, what are you going to do with the clock? Do you have a place for it yet?
I don't have a place for it. I haven't even thought that far ahead. There's way too much drama for my brain to process. I don't really know what to do with myself up here. It's a little awkward, but I don't really have a good spot for it the way my house is. I might have to knock a wall down or something. Construction project going on this winter.
Maybe we'll do that tonight.
Never know with Greg coming to the party. It gets pretty ugly sometimes.
Not really.
He sprayed beer on my ceiling once, so anything can happen.
How did that happen?
Just next question.
Greg was no longer in the building. His name was Hansel.
All right. Well, I always say there's no better way to leave a racetrack than when you smell like champagne, and both of you currently do. So congratulations on the win today, and we wish you the best of luck next week in Phoenix.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Thanks for what you guys do for us.